lads, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. We've got the President's Cup coming up on Friday evening. In the green corner, we've got Philip Warner, and in the red corner, we've got Keno Menton. What's the story, boys?
All good, Keith.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. I mean, I'm looking forward to this, to be fair, lads. It's going to be a cracking atmosphere at Tallaght Stadium. I think it's the fact as well that, you know, we've got 2 years with COVID, etc. So it's been on and off the football. It's been half crowds, it's been no crowds. But there's a feeling coming into this season that, you know, we're going to get full crowds and we're going to get, like, a lot of people are going to want to go to matches as well. So there's going to be a brilliant atmosphere at Tallaght Stadium. It's going to be a real curtain raiser for the season and a sign of things to come, hopefully. What do you think, Keno?
Yeah, look, it's obviously the first game of the season. Look, it's probably going to be a typical first game of the season. In fairness, I think it's probably going to be that game with a bit of an anti-climax to it type of game. Yeah. I can't say it being a fantastic game for the neutral to watch. But look, Rovers are going to come in numbers. Pats are coming in numbers. There's going to be a massive atmosphere there. And it's a real showcase event. It's a shame that's not in the box. I know it's free on the LOI TV, but not everyone knows how to use that. You know, it's a shame it's not on the box because I think people would tune into this. It's probably really the first President's Cup final that a lot of people are actually interested in. You know, and like Rovers have obviously been in now a few times, and you know, Pats were in it twice since they came back. And you know, this is probably the first one that people are really looking forward to, and that there's a sense of something about it, you know. Like, you've Rovers obviously champions who are at the strengthening again, and they're looking really strong. The amount of season tickets they've sold, everything, the buzz that seems to be there, doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. It's only going to get bigger. And then you've Pats coming in there with a new manager, a lot of new players, a lot of new faces, but big optimism again. And you know, it's literally this very first game. Like I says, I don't expect it to be a mouth-watering game by any stretch. I think it's going to be a typical first day of the season thing. I think that would have added to the occasion if I went straight to penalties, in my opinion. If it was a draw, I think extra time at the start of the season is an absolute grill. And I don't think it's going to do anyone any favours. You know, I think, obviously, look, you don't want to go into the season losing these games. If you do lose it, you can come out and say, it's only a friendly as such. But if you do win it, I think, you know, whoever wins it on Friday night is going to be buzzing with themselves going into the season. So, you know, it's a real good atmosphere and buzz about the league this week. And, you know, I think, like you said, the COVID and stuff like that, I think it's obviously adding to the occasion a little bit.
Definitely. I mean, Philip, I get the feeling, though, Pats fans are a bit more excited about than Rovers fans, maybe, because Rovers are kind of used to being in that occasion. But how do you see it from a Rovers perspective?
Well, geez, it's a fair point. It's a realistic point, Keith. But I think that we're just as excited as the Pats fans. You know, look, I've been talking to a lot of people that have been involved with Rovers for years, and look, an opening pre-season friendly, a lot of people used to look at this cup as, but it's not. I don't think the build-up this year has been like that. You know, tickets have gone pretty quick. You know, on a general basis. I know there's still some available, but you know, all your regulars were pretty quick to get out there and snap up tickets as soon as they could. So, no, there's definitely I think there's more of a competitive feel to it as the game approaches this week. And, you know, for sure, like I'd be the first person to turn around and say, look, it's only a community shield, if you want to put it like that. But it's not. I think there's a lot on this, you know. I think it's momentum builder. I think if on Rovers' side of it, like, you know, I think we'd want to win it after what happened last season with Dundalk. And I think for Pat's sake, it's a game that can kind of, you know, with all the uncertainty around the club at the minute, with all the new faces and the new manager, I think it'd be a massive momentum, a massive piece of momentum going into the season, having won this, you know. So definitely there's a competitive edge on it, and I think from a Rovers fans perspective, I'm really excited for it. Like, I've been buzzing for this all week, to be honest with you. Even this little show here, like, I've been thinking about it all day, can't wait to do it and all, you know, and that just brings us that little bit closer to the Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Keno, Pats haven't beaten Shamrock Rovers in 11 attempts, and strangely most of them have been fairly tight. There's been a few draws in there as well, but I suppose for a Pats point of view, no one remembers the winners of the President's Cup, but you can only take it as it is, like at this minute in time. And from a Pats point of view, it would be a little bit more special to win it, I think, than Rovers, would it?
Ah, yeah, look, there's no doubt. Oh, geez, it's mad to think. You look at Pats and Rovers games over the last couple of years, and we've been really tight. Probably the last win against Rovers, would that have been 2018, Killian Brennan's penalty?
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah,
I think it was Killian Brennan's penalty. It's hard to believe because the games have been so tight, and when Pats go and play Rovers, we feel like we're well able for it, and we're well able to beat them. So 11 games, that's after frightened me there. I didn't realise it was that now. But look, it's definitely going to mean a lot more to Pats, I think. But look, your season, it's the first day. Nothing's going to be, obviously this little cup is going to be won and lost, but I don't think nothing's going to be won and lost over the course of the season on Friday night. I can't see, just because Pats beat Rovers doesn't mean Pats are going to be up there. Just because Rovers beat Pats doesn't mean, Pats are going to be down there and Rovers are going to run away with it. It doesn't mean anything really like that. It obviously puts a marker down. I think...
Well, they won it last year, didn't they? So
that's it. And like a lot of people would be... a lot of people would be probably saying Pats probably won't finish Europe and stuff like that. So this is a chance to kind of put a little marker down and say, look, we're here, we're going to be competitive. I think over the course of 90 minutes, which is 120 if it does go to extra time, but over the course of one game, I don't think there's much between Pats and Rovers. I think it's over the course of the season when it starts acting up. And that's when Shamrock Rovers and the strength and depth they have comes into play. But I think over the course of one game, it's going to be very evenly matched. I haven't seen bookies odds now or anything, but I presume Rovers are obviously going to go in as only very slight favourites, in my opinion. I can't see Rovers or Pats being too far away from the even odds, So it's definitely meaning a lot more to a lot more to Pats, but at the same time, Rovers don't want to lose this. They didn't win it last year, and knowing the man that Stephen Bradley is and knowing the way the club is, they wouldn't want to lose this. Like last year, that would have hurt them. I know it was on penalties, but I know that would have hurt Shamrock Rovers losing that to Dundalk. I know people will say it's a President's Cup, but if you want to be the best in the world, you want to go and you want to win every trophy possible. And this is one of the only ones up for grabs. You have this, then you have the FAI Cup. You have obviously that United Nations or whatever you want to call a cup. But
bit of money in it, I suppose. Yeah,
that's it. And then you have the league. So it's up there. It's only a handful of trophies to be won this year. Rovers will want to go out and claim them all, and I've no doubt Pats will want to get their name on at least one of them again this year.
What do you expect from Rovers, Philip, coming into the game? Obviously, fairly set squad. They've added Jack Byrne and Andy Lyons. Do you see the two of them playing? And I suppose, how do you see them formed up front? Who's going to play up front, in your opinion, as a centre forward?
Look, I think everyone's going to get some minutes in this game, and like not as in a typical pre-season game, like where you might see one set of team, half. Different team in the second half in comparison to the first half. I don't think that's going to be like that, but I do think a lot of lads will get minutes. I'll be honest with you, I think Rovers are going to go as strong as they can. It's the curtain raiser. We're getting to the nitty gritty where the start of the season is, and you want to be up to speed. And look, I think we're at that stage now where we are up to speed. We haven't lost a game in pre-season, and things seem to be going well, and I'd imagine it would be fairly strong. And I suppose if I'm looking at who's going to lead the line, look, I think Amaku has been pretty good in pre-season. He's got a couple of goals, and from what I've heard, like he's done all right in terms of his hold-up play as well. And I think that's just going back to a previous point, and he seems to have bulked up a bit. And that could be something. I think this game would be a really, really good opportunity for him to get a head start on not a head start, but get a good run in towards the league, the start of the league season. So I think he'd probably start up front. And look, your usuals then, your Jack Bourne, your Graham Brooks, all those boys are definitely going to play a part, But again, I think it'll change as the game goes by. Look, again, it might come down to how the game is played. It could be quite competitive, and it could be chop and change, or it could be, you never know, that it might be the same 11. It's hard to call, but that's the great excitement of it, I think, lads, is that it's only a couple of days away, and we're all kind of putting all these kind kind of situations and scenarios in place, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that three at the back system, Keano, has been very successful for Bradley. It works very well. How do you see Pat setting up, though? It's going to be interesting because, we know Tim likes to play three at the back and two wing backs when he can, but he also likes to play four at the back as well. In the last game, the friendly against Cork, he literally went in one half that four at the back system, and the second half he went to three at the back system. How do you think he's going to start the game against Shamrock Rovers?
Yeah, it's hard to say. We've obviously, I don't know, Paddy Barrett must be nursing a little injury or something like that. He hasn't been involved. No. So he hasn't been involved now for a number of weeks. And, that's a bit of a worry, I think, especially coming into a season because, he came back from Cambodia and last season and he wasn't the fittest of centre-halves. But he got himself back into shape and he got himself really kicking on towards the back end of the season when he got back in. So, it's obviously a little bit of a setback for him, I would say, if it is an injury. And, we hopefully, I think he'll go with the back four. I believe the first half on Saturday was much better than the second half. So,
attacking wise. But defensively, they didn't look as good. So that's what I'm thinking, the balance, yourself.
Yeah. So I think in a game like this, we have to be cautious. He could very, very easily go with it. I think, I'm really contradicting myself here, but I think it'll be a flat back four. If he's going with a flat back, if he's going with a back four, I think it'll be flat. Or if he's going with five, I think the wing backs will have a little bit more of a license to go, but it'll be more of a five than a three, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, either way, I think we'll be well set up defensively. But, I think the game, it's definitely going to stand to both teams coming into next week. I think we'll see that the following week. Away to Shells and then UCD, isn't it, Philip? Yeah. So, I think it'd be, it'd definitely stand. And I think you'd see the level probably of that 90 minutes or 120 minutes if it does go all the way. And I think we'll see what this game is made of next week, if you know what I mean, in terms of fitness wise. But look, it's hard to call what way they're gonna show. The same with Shamrock Rovers, will Andy Lyons play right wing? And and I do think I'm really a big fan of Andy Lyons. I think he's a smashing player, and now is his chance to kick on. He's after getting his big move. I know it probably wasn't the move that he wanted or the move that he set out, and that's not being disrespectful to Rovers, but he wanted to go across the water, but now he's playing the best club in Ireland at the minute. So, it didn't work out a bad summer or a bad winter for him. So, I think he'll do really well. He's a player that I can't wait to see play. Hopefully not too well, but I do hope he gets on the pitch and we see him play because I think he has an awful lot to offer the league and Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, especially as a wing back, I think that actually suits him better. He's more licensed, doesn't have to get back defensively as well as he would in a flat back four. Philip, how are Shamrock Rovers going to win this match?
I think I don't know. I just think it's going to be comfortable. And I don't know why, because I shouldn't say that, because, look, I have to be honest, I think there's a lot more respect there for Pats now in comparison to what there maybe would have been last season had they been playing in this fixture, with how things went for them last year. But I still just think all the chopping and changing has just undone Pats a bit, and I think they might find it a bit slow getting up to speed this season, just from how pre-season's gone for them by the look of them, and look, I've seen very little of them, but just the situation, the scenario around the club, what happened, you know what I mean, all the legal formalities and all that the off-season brought, and it doesn't set up great for preparation for a league, you know what I mean, for the league. And look, I think they would have definitely preferred to have this game than not have it, and I think they'll know a lot more about themselves coming off the back of it rather than a pre-season game. But I just think Rovers are going to have too much. I just think the fact that we mentioned it previously, Keith, Rovers have not had to do too much in terms of strengthening the squad because teams around them have gotten weaker, and I think Pats are probably one of those teams. No disrespect, Now look, who knows? The new recruits that they've got in could hit the ground running, but just don't see it being the case. I think probably Rovers have probably got one of the strongest sides that the league has seen in years, probably going back to Dundalk in the group stages. That's probably where I see this squad. And yeah, I just think we'll be comfortable. I think it's probably going to be 2 or 3 on the night, and hopefully that's the case because I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, I think, Ian, that's a point actually I pick up on there as well. Is that Pats, you'd argue, need this game more because they've more fine-tuning to do ahead of the league season for the game against Shelbourne. And that's the way I personally see it from a Pats point of view, is try and get that fine-tune as much as they can for the Shelbourne game, because Rovers probably don't need that as much, to be honest, do they?
No, look, definitely Rovers are probably the most settled side in the country. You have a good side when they're only bringing in 1 or 2 players and they're really adding to the team. Look, Pats obviously didn't have the best of times after winning the cup, where everything that happened, the manager's gone. It wasn't ideal. But in saying that, we had our business done before Christmas. We had everything done. We only with 2 or 3 players coming in on loan in the January window, but they were well early in pre-season type of thing. So, I think all the Pats business was done fairly sharpish. We had a manager within 2 days of the other one leaving before he was even left. It was announced. We had the bulk of our players signed up and new players coming in. So I don't think it'll hinder Pats as much. Look, obviously they have to gel together and they'll need time to get into that, and it's not going to happen overnight. But like I said, over 90 minutes, I don't think there's that much between the sides. Over the course of a season, we'll definitely see that coming out more. But over the space of 90 minutes, especially at the start of the season, these games are never really mental scores. I'd say it's going to be a typical first day of the season job, and probably a 1-0 here or there for either side. It's very tough to call. It's a tough game to call because, like you said, Rovers are well settled, but then Pats have a new side. Will they be stronger? People will be looking at the young lads at Pats and saying, yeah, we're at the losing Robbie Benson, we've lost him. But these young players coming through are up there with the very best in the country. And, that's we're going into the unknown a little bit. Well, a lot of fans are. I know the quality of these players myself, and I know how highly I rate them. And you know yourself, Keith, I'm always hammering on about them. So, I don't think it's much of a hindrance. I think we have a really settled side in terms of the young players that have coming through now that were involved last season.
I suppose it's how the young players are integrated. As I say, they're all talented players. We know how good they are coming through, but it's just how they integrate and balance with the side. But there is experience there, I suppose. Your Forrester there, and who was excellent against Cork actually at the weekend, and Birmingham and other players. Like even the likes of Breslin is reasonably experienced. Barris and players of that. So it's all about marrying that in together, I suppose. Isn't it?
Yeah, look, I do. I think we'll be okay. Like I said, I fancy our chances over the course of 90 minutes. Now, like I said, the season is a different story, but over 90 minutes in the game, I can't really see there being too much around. I think Pats will be doing an awful lot more defending Shamrock Rovers now. But that's the real question. Can Pats handle that? Will they handle it in a 4 or will they handle it in a back 5? Will Bermo play in the centre half role or will he play left wing? I personally think Bermo would really suit left side of the centre half in the 3. And I think he'd probably be, similar to Dane Massey, if anyone's listening, the role that he done and how big of a player he was for Drogheda. But look, it's a game I'm looking forward to. I don't think Pats have really much to lose. Look, he wants a mauling. I don't think it will be, and I think Pats will obviously be going out to not let that happen. But other than that, I can't really see many winners or losers in this game. I can't see it having a massive effect on any team unless, of course, like I said, it could be a hammering either way. So if it wasn't that, I don't think there'd be anything really.
No, I don't think so either. Philip, you must be looking forward to seeing the return of Jack Byrne, though.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, look, lads, us 3, we all know how good he is. Like, it's unbelievable that we've brought him back. Everyone knows Jack's qualities and how good of a player he can be. And And look, people turn around and say he flopped in when he went abroad to Apple, but that's not the case. Like, he didn't. He got bad. He had a bad injury that he needed to get off. Exactly. And I think just look what happened with that club financially as well. You can't allow for circumstances like that as a player. And look, I personally think he could have. I'd say there was a couple of opportunities in the lower divisions of English football, but that's not what interests him. I think he's someone that wants to play top football, whether that be in Ireland or the UK. I think he's looking to play in top divisions, and I think his experience from previously being here obviously showed him how good the league is and how difficult the league is to play in, and I think that's something that he's looking forward to stepping up to. And look, I have no doubt in my mind how good Jack will be coming back, and I think that is more exciting than anything else, and I think anyone in the league that's going to play against Jack Byrne, it was the same the last time he was here. Everyone is afraid of him. I personally think everyone's afraid of him because he can one pass and he can open up a whole team. And that's not something we've seen from many players in this league for a long time. Obviously you've got a few players that can do it, but I think Jack is probably the best player I've ever seen play in the League of Ireland personally now,
it's the fact Philip, that he's in a good midfield as well. So it's not just keep an eye on Jack Byrne, because you've got Dylan Watts, even Mandrew. I know he's further up, but still he drops deep and stuff. And you've other players there too.
I think they're going to have to be a lot more selective though when they're playing him. I don't think he's going to play as much games as he did before the injury, being honest. It was a poor enough injury, which was horrible to see, because what a talent. I think Rovers are in a great position where he's probably not going to play as many games as probably Rovers or the league would like him to play. He's probably, I can see him, for example, as you know, in this league, Monday, Friday is nearly a weekly thing now at this stage, and I can't see him playing Monday and Friday. I think they'll be selective with what they do. I think they either play him on the Friday or the Monday, or he come off early in games and all. I hope we see the Jack Byrne of old, but I just think people need to realise that this fella was injured, and it was a nasty injury as well. It wasn't a straightforward injury. So like I says, great to have him back in the league. What a talent! But I just think people just need to be a little bit, just a little bit wary that
patient.
He's probably not going to be, especially starting off, the player that left. I think the player that left was just frightening. I really do hope, even though I'm a Pats fan, I hope he comes back to his best, and I hope he's the player that left. I highly doubt it, but I've no doubt in the next couple of months, I'd say towards August, September, we'll see the best Jack Byrne. But I do think it'll take an awful lot of time just to get him back to that level. I still think the way he is now, if he came back, I still think he could just lace the boots of any player. I think he's that good. But if you really want that Jack Byrne that left, I would say just after Europe, then you'll start seeing them.
Brilliant stuff, lads. We'll leave it there. Guys, let us know what you think is going to be the score in the game on Friday. Are you going? Are you looking forward to it? Subscribe to the channel, hit your bell notification button, and like the video. Thanks, guys. Brilliant.